Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go over the books that came out in 2022 so far that I've already purchased or have from the library or have an advanced reader copy. So let's get started. I have quite a few books to talk about today. So there's some historical fiction, some mystery thrillers. There's some family drama books on here. There's one nonfiction. So I'm just going to start and hopefully it won't be too long. I'm going to be pretty brief on what I say about them because I haven't read them yet. It's just what I know about them so far. Okay, so we have two romance. Colleen Hoover, Reminders of Him, which I'm sure people have heard of already. I've never read a Colleen Hoover book, so I want to make this one a priority this year. And then I have The Roughest Draft by Austin Sigmund Broca. And it's about two people who are under contract. They write books together and they have a falling out right before their contract is over. So they have one more book that they have to write together. So I believe they go away somewhere, it looks like from the picture, somewhere tropical, and they have to work on this book. So it's a romance. I'm assuming things start to get interesting at that point. So I'm not a huge romance person, but this one caught my attention because it's already getting a lot of hype. And then I have Why Has Nobody Told Me This by Dr. Julie Smith. And this is the nonfiction I have. It says, Everyday Tools for Life's Ups and Downs. I figured that one couldn't hurt to just glance through every now and then. And then from the library, I have a J.D. Robb book called Abandoned in Death. And this just came out this month. Although I have no idea what it's about. I've never read a book by her before. So we'll see. I know that this is part of like a huge series. I don't know if it has to be read in order or not. If any of you have read any by her and you think I could just like go for this one without having to read like all the 50 other ones or whatever she made already, let me know, because I would just like to read one to see what I feel about it. Okay, so then we have Mirror Girls by Kelly Mcwilliams. And this sounded really interesting to me. I read about it in a magazine at my library. It's about a mixed couple who get murdered because they are interracial. They had two twin girls who actually got separated because the parents died. So one of them is very light-skinned. Her name's Magnolia, and she doesn't know that she's black. And the other girl is Charlie, and she is darker skinned. So she takes on a role of being an organizer in Harlem. This is like around the civil rights movement. And girl Magnolia actually lives in Georgia, and she owns a cotton plantation. And so Magnolia one day finds out about her heritage, and her reflection goes away in the mirror all of a sudden. And she realizes there's something like some type of haunting going on. And during all this, their grandmother gets sick, and her wish is for them to come back together, the twins to come back together, but they both didn't know about each other. So that's what they do. They reunite, and they're teenagers now. When they reunite, there's a lot of weird things going on. That's all I know, but it just sounds really different and interesting. So I might do a vlog about this one, but we'll see. And then we have Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie. And this one is about a girl who's a little bit boy crazy. Her parents make jokes about her because she's always on to the next crush. And then she gets kind of stumped because she starts to have a crush on a girl in her class. And then it just becomes confusing to her, and kind of trying to figure out her sexuality while trying to live up to who she's supposed to be attracted to, and she has to decide what she wants to do with new things that she's feeling. I guess it's just her journey through trying to deal with it all while having to try to feel accepted at the same time. So I am excited to read this one. Then we have To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. And I know I do not know how to say that. I tried to look it up on Google and I still can't say it right. So I apologize. But this is a really big book. And it caught my eye though, so I'm really excited to read it. The synopsis to me was a bit confusing, so I kind of just want to go into the book and like learn more about what it's about. So it says that it follows 3 different people, and it's spanning 3 centuries and 3 different versions of American experiment about lovers, family, loss, and the elusive promise of utopia. I really hope to get to this year. We'll see. Then we have The Spanish Daughter by Lorena Hughes. And this is about a girl named Puri, and her father dies and she inherits a cocoa plantation. But along the way, she finds out there's people who they are not happy about her inheritance. So they try to board a ship that she's on and try to kill her, but they end up killing her husband instead. So she takes on her husband's identity and tries to not get killed, basically. That's all I know, but it sounds really good. It sounds like a bit of a thriller with some historical fiction, which is great. Okay, then we have I Must Betray You by Ruda Sapeties. This one says, trust no one, tell no one, spies are everywhere. So this takes place in Romania in 1989, and it follows a 17-year-old boy named Kristen. He wants to be a writer, but back in those days, you weren't allowed to do anything like that. So he's blackmailed by the government, the people in control over there, and they want him to become a spy for them. And so he's stuck between betraying everyone and everything that he loves, or he gets in that position and tries to undermine the most notoriously evil dictator in Eastern Europe. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting, and I actually have heard of some people who read this already, and they have nothing but good things to say about it. Okay, then I have Violetta by Isabel Alande, and this is a historical fiction. It's told like in the form of letters. She's writing a letter, I believe, to her son, and takes place in the 1920 during the Spanish flu pandemic. And then also right after that, they end up having to leave where they have always lived comfortably. They have to leave because it's the Great Depression, and they get hit really badly by that. So it's just her life and how she grew up. I've started it. We'll see. I'm not too far in it, so I don't really have any opinions on it yet. But this will definitely be in my February wrap-up. Okay, then we have Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. And this one is about a woman named Eleanor Bennett, and she passes away, and she leaves a video to her 2 kids, Benny and Byron, I believe. They were not on talking terms when the mother passed away, and she just leaves a video explaining the inheritance that their mother left, and also it explains a whole new part of Eleanor's life that they knew nothing about. I also have started this one, but again, I am only like 100 pages in, but so far I'm liking it. So this will definitely be in my wrap-up as well. Okay, then The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. And this is about, it just says a riveting page turner about a black classic musician's desperate quest to recover his lost violin on the eve of the most prestigious musical competition in the world. This is also a book club pick for the Good Morning America book club, and I just thought it sounded really good. Then we have The Night She Went Missing by Kristen Bird, and I believe this is her first novel ever. Okay, I heard about this book from Chapters in Converse, and it sounded really good to me, so I pre-ordered it. And it's a suburban mystery thriller. So it takes place in, it says a tight-knit Texas community where parents are known to behave badly and people are not always who they appear to be. Yeah, it sounds good to me. Then we have The Overnight Guest by Heather Guttenkoff. This one is about a writer, a writer who is in a cabin and she's snowed in because it's bad weather and she's stuck there. And she doesn't mind being stuck there. It's isolated, but then she realizes it's the same cabin that 2 people were murdered in and 1 girl disappeared with no trace. So, yeah. Then we have Greenwick Park by Catherine Faulkner. This is about someone named Helen. They just moved into a new area, her and her husband, and she's pregnant, and they're ready to have this, ideal, perfect family that she's wanted. And then when she's in her prenatal class, she meets a girl named Rachel, who's a single mom-to-be, and she's very careless. She doesn't seem to really want to have a baby. She smokes, she drinks. She just does everything that you're not supposed to do when you're pregnant. So she becomes friends with her even though all that, but then she starts to see some weird things going on with her. Yeah, it just goes on to expose what Rachel, who she really might be and what she may have been a part of in their new community that they're living in. Yes, that sounds good too. Then we have The Appeal by Janice Hollett. And this one says it's a modern day Agatha Christie type of mystery. So on the front it says 1 murder, 15 suspects. I don't know much about this one. I just seen it as a new release and it sounds good. All that I needed to know was that it's a mystery and there's 15 people involved. It's like a whodunit type mystery, and I'm usually cool with those, so we'll see. Okay, then we have One Step Too Far by Lisa Gardner. And this one is about a man named Timothy who knows the woods really well, but then he disappears suddenly on a bachelor camping trip. And his parents are worried and heartbroken, and the groomsmen he was with feel really guilty about it, and they want to know what happened to him. And then Frankie Elkin, she goes in the woods trying to find him because they're searching for him. And they realize while they're searching there's something in the woods, and they're not sure what it is, but they know that it's becoming more dangerous for them. Whatever's out there doesn't want them to be going into the woods trying to figure out what happened to him. So I've never read a book by her before, but I saw this on one of my Facebook groups that I'm a part of. I think it's like a thriller mystery book group. And yeah, so I'm going to read this one. Then we have The Family Chow by Lan Samantha Chang. And this is about the Chow family who owns a restaurant in Haven, Wisconsin, I think. Yes. And people dine there all the time. They love the food there. It's like an Americanized Chinese food place. And they say they ignore some of the whispers they may hear about the family having some issues. Again, it's a family drama. They said they ignore these issues because their kids they go to, reputable colleges and they have scholarships there, everything. But then when the boys reunite back in Haven, Wisconsin, all this stuff starts to come out and the people can't ignore it anymore. So that's all I know about that one, but it sounds fun. Then we have Walla, which means trouble in this book. And it's about 4 girls. Well, it's a group of 3 girls at first, and they're all really close. It's referred to as like a Sex and the City type of book because the girls are really close-knit like that. But then a new girl comes in named Isabel, and she starts, at first, everything seems to be going good. She seems to be a nice addition to everything. But then as time goes on, she starts to kind of separate the tight bond that these 3 girls had. So, yeah, it sounds fun. Just a fun little girl drama book to read. Okay, and then I have Yinka, Where's Your Husband? It's about a girl named Yinka, and she has not been with anybody since her ex. And she's saving herself for marriage, and her aunties and all her friends are like, you need to find a husband. You need to stop being old-fashioned and waiting till you're married. And then she decides to go along with an Operation Wedding Date thing that her family set up for her. So she's trying to find a husband by the date that's listed there. This is by Lizzie Damalola Blackburn. So it just sounds like a fun little family drama book as well. Okay, and then that was all I have physical copies of, but then I have my Kindle too. So I have a lot of ER copies that I'm not really sure. I have to go through them better because I don't remember the exact months all of them came out. But the ones that I already read is Finley Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead, which is really fun. I talked about it in my January wrap-up. It was a 5-star read. And then The Saints of Swallow Hill. Again, that's a historical fiction that I read, and it's really good. That was also a 5-star read. So those 2 came out this year that I read. And also, The Last House on the Street is another one that I read. That was by Diane Chamberlain. That was the first book I ever read by her, and it was a historical fiction with like a mystery suspense / ghost story. Like, it was really good. So those 3 I will put on the screen because I don't have physical copies of them. But then I have some more. I have Honor, which is by Thridi Umrigar. I'll put a picture of it. But that was a Reese's book club pick, I think, in January, so I did get that one. I did start it because I like to sample it before I actually go buy it. I don't remember much about it, but I did like the first few chapters. So hopefully I'll get to that soon, and then I can do a wrap-up on that one. Then I also have African Town, which I have not read, but I know it's about the last slave ship that came over seas. And it's just the story of, I think maybe it's one person's story on that ship. I'm not 100% sure, but I did hear the Curly reader, Amanda, she just reviewed it and she loved it, and I seem to have a lot of similar tastes as her. So I am really looking forward to reading that one now. And then another one I got was called The Taste of Ginger, and I don't know who that's by, but I will put a picture of it on this screen. And I have Fiona and Jane, which was a book of the month pick. I did not get it from there, but I do have it on my Kindle. And that one is a girl story, I believe. It's about 2 girls who are really good friends. They're really close, and then life gets in the way. They take different paths, and then they start to kind of drift apart. So I'm interested in reading that one soon as well. Okay, then again, I have the Circus of Wonders, which I have talked about already, but that one is an e-ARC copy that I also received from NetGalley. And that one was just about a girl who grew up and she was in the circus, but then she becomes like the main attraction, and the guy who runs the circus didn't like that. So I'm assuming he starts to try to sabotage it or do something that's probably not very nice. So I hope to be reading that one this month still, but I have a lot that I want to read, and I've kind of been in a reading slump this last week, so we will see how much I get to. Then I got Lucy Ye is Not a Romantic. I saw it on NetGalley, and at the time when I read the description of it, it sounded interesting, so I will be reading that as well. And then I got The Scent of Burnt Flowers by Blitz, Basil. I probably didn't say that right. I apologize if I didn't. But that again is an eARC copy, so I will put the picture of it. I don't really remember what it's about either, but I think it's more of a historical fiction book, but I'm not positive. But that's what I typically lean towards, so that's why I'm just assuming that it is. And then we have An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lepina. And I don't know, I just know it's a thriller book, and it had like a snowy cover on it, and I've heard about it on Instagram and Facebook, so I decided to buy it, and I will hopefully enjoy it. And then I have I can't even say this word, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna just put a picture because I really don't know how to say the name of this book. It's spelled Kaikeyyi. I just can't say it. I tried to look it up and I still can't say it because I'm having trouble talking today. So I'm just going to put it up there. But I heard really good things about this from the BookTube channel, This Story Ain't Over. She talked about it a lot and she loved this book. It was a 5-star read for her. So I think she's the one that I heard it from originally. And then I went on NetGalley and I got approved for it. So I'm very thankful for that. And I will be reading it soon because it does come out. I'm not sure if it's March or April, but I do want to read it before it comes out. And then I got On a Night of 1,000 Stars by Andrea Yariura Clark, which again, I apologize. I'm not very good at talking right now today. Just work with me, please. But at the time when I was getting these copies, they seemed interesting to me, so there's a reason I picked it. I just don't remember the reason. But as I read these, I think that I'm gonna start to do videos like when I'm about to read, like right before I'm about to read it, so it's more accurate than a TBR, because honestly my TBRs never get met. So I hope to kind of read to talk about like, okay, I'm gonna read these few books this week or in the next couple weeks, and then I'm gonna talk about those few books, because I think just gathering it all together in one is a little rough for me, because honestly sometimes I cannot remember the names and then I lose details, and I think it would just be a lot more enjoyable to watch a shorter video rather than a whole long video. Yeah, I have a lot to read. And 2 of them, Violetta and Black Cake, are also an ARC copy, but I did get the physical from my library because I like to kind of do both. So I will be reviewing those for sure this month, because those are ones that I'm already into. And that's it. So that was a lot of books, and it's only February. Yeah. Every time I keep seeing all these new books come out, like I want to buy them all. So it's a problem. But I'm trying not to buy any books that are just like older books. I'm trying to just focus on new books, because that's kind of what I want to do this year. It's my first year on BookTube, and I want to review as many new books as possible, because that's just one of my goals. I don't have a specific goal as to how many books I want to read or anything, or, I might have little things here and there, but I'm not being super strict on it. My only thing is that I want to read as many new releases as possible so I can get those books out. And also, it does help the authors when you pre-order the books. So I am trying to also support even new authors or, just new books in general. But thank you for stopping by. I want to know if you've read any of these, purchased any of them. If any of them sound really interesting to you and you want a better review, I'll put those top priority and I'll read those. Just let me know. Thank you for watching. If you've never been here, please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thank you.